What's going on, everyone? My name is Rocio, and today I'm going to be talking about what I learned from running my first ever marathon. And I'm showing this right now just so you guys can see the medal. It was such a beautiful experience for me to receive this at the end when I was just in pain and nearly crying at the very end because it's just crazy that I ran a marathon, 26.2 miles. And just to bring it back, the marathon that I ran was actually last year, 2024, which was in July, as you guys can see right here. It was July and it was the year 2024, my first ever marathon. And today in this video, I do want to share my experience and everything that I learned from it. I'm gonna try keeping it simple and condensed so it's not overfilled with a lot of information. But if any of you are interested in running a marathon or a half marathon or even just starting with a 10K, please do it. Honestly, it's one of the most amazing experiences as far as like the energy that you feel before the whole race starts. Like I've never felt that kind of energy of just like taking off. It's one of the feelings that I felt even after the marathon. Honestly, it was one of the best feelings ever. And honestly, the medal was pretty cool too. But I just want to say that this is one of the best moments in my life, and it was also one of the hardest moments as far as like where I was at in life. But just to give you guys a little background, I did sign up to this marathon very last minute. I don't encourage people to do that, but if you want to go for it, honestly, if you want to do it, just make sure you follow through, because it is quite pricey. So if I remember how much I paid last year, it was around like $350. Yes, you have to pay for, yes, you have to pay for to run a marathon. That's just the truth. Sometimes when I tell people that, they're like, "What? I have to pay to run?" But yes, I had to pay, and honestly, it was the best $300+ that I've ever invested in myself. And just to keep it brief, as far as like where I was at in my life, honestly, I was kind of going through it during that time. It was February, March, and even April. During that time, I was going through a lot of awakenings as far as like with my career and my faith as well. I was getting closer to God, and it was rough, and I felt the need that I needed to push myself. That's what led me to sign up for this marathon. I wanted to push myself. I needed to feel like a sense of purpose, and honestly, thinking back, I'm so glad that I did it. I did go a little bit into it blindsided. I didn't know how challenging it was gonna be. And after doing some research, I found out that San Francisco Marathon is one of the most challenging marathons. So there goes that, right? But um, yeah, so now moving forward with the video, I do want to touch base on some of the things that I learned about myself and some of the things that I've kind of been reflecting on. Even it's almost gonna be a year. It's currently May. It's May 12th today, but it's almost gonna be a year since I last ran my marathon. Okay, so after some reflection, I did write some notes on the things that I learned, and I'm gonna start with lesson number one. This is what I wrote. Your body and mind are more capable than what you think. And for me, this was major because just thinking back on the memories from the day of the marathon, around mile 15, I started feeling a pain on my knee, and I've never felt that amount of pain. And for a moment, I was like, "Ooh, am I gonna be able to make it through?" But then I literally told myself the moment I felt that pain, I'm going to finish no matter what, even if it's limping, even if it's like dragging myself, I'm gonna finish this marathon. And that happened around mile 15, and I just knew that I had to keep moving forward. There was no stopping from there on. Of course, I took little walking breaks just to refresh my body, but there was something in my mind that really just told me, Rocio, you got this. You have to keep pushing through. You gotta do this, right? And it really made me believe in myself that I'm capable of doing more than what my body tells me. I think there does come a time when you're running 26.2 miles that your body just starts breaking down because of the miles that you're racing. San Francisco Marathon, it does have a lot of hills, a lot of incline, and to be honest, I didn't necessarily train hills. I didn't train in mountains. I didn't really train like that at all. So I was a little bit blindsided by the hills, and some people might say like, oh, why would you run a marathon blindsided? But for me, I genuinely believed that I could do it, even though I was a little bit afraid, right? But I knew that I could do it. I do have experience playing soccer and running, but it just taught me that my body is capable of more than I ever thought. And I think the same about anyone. If anyone wants to run a marathon, I generally think that anyone can do it, but that's only if you want to do it. It was super inspiring seeing people who were deaf and blind there, and they had their own shirts, just kind of like signifying. But for me, that was so inspirational, and it really just inspired me to keep being active in my life and to continue having like an optimistic lifestyle around like fitness. But yeah, that's lesson number one. Your body and your mind specifically is capable of so much more, and I learned that about myself, and until this day I still think about like, damn, I ran a marathon. Now jumping on to lesson number two. Follow through is one of the most important things in life. Now, you could say this about life in general, you could say this about literally anything in life, but for me, this marathon really taught me about the follow through, right? Not only do you sign up for a marathon, you have to pay for it. And you might feel afraid during that time, especially if it's last minute, but for me, I was like, I have to follow through no matter what. For a moment, I did think about like, oh, I've never run a half marathon. I ran a lot of miles before, but not like by the book. I've never ran a half marathon, right? So jumping from running 7-8 miles, maybe more, to like a full-on marathon, that's quite the experience. Follow through is one of the most important things, especially for a marathon. If any of you guys are training for a marathon, just have fun out there, but make sure you follow through. Just give it your all and follow through with anything in life. It really says a lot about your character. It says a lot about like you completing a mission, and just keep pushing forward no matter what. So follow through is something that my marathon taught me, or it just kind of emphasized it more in my life. All right, now jumping into lesson 3. Belief and hope will get you through anything, okay? And for me, that just meant being optimistic. I was just listening to Proverbs from the Bible, and I was just getting hyped over the feeling of like, hey, like, you got this, Rocio, you will finish. I was extremely optimistic and determined no matter what. And if it wasn't for that belief and that hope in myself in accomplishing that marathon, it wouldn't have been possible. So for me, and for anyone who wants to accomplish anything that's physical or mental, your mental state plays a critical role in you achieving anything. Specifically for a marathon, think about it. You're not just running 15 miles, you're running 26.2 miles. Your body's gonna get fatigued, and that's gonna play tricks with your mind. So you have to remain optimistic, and hope are essentially what I think are the most important things during a marathon. Especially once you start feeling that pain, you have to believe that you could do it. And for me, I just kept reminding myself like, hey, Rocio, you got this, you're almost there. But I will be honest, what was really challenging for me was checking the mileage. I just kept checking the mileage because I was feeling that knee pain so bad that I just wanted to check, and I wanted to be done so bad, you know? But I think that's what made it more enjoyable at the end of the day. Okay, so now let's move on to lesson number 4. Running a marathon could be lonely, and I think we all need to normalize doing things alone. Uh, it could be lonely, and it's one of those things that you think about, like, damn, like, I wish my friends liked running like I do so that we could do it together, but not many people like the things that you like, and that's something that I was able to learn during this journey was, hey, it's okay, like, you like running, many other people might not like running. Thing that I've learned to kind of like just accept and deal with, because to be honest, not many people like to run 7 miles as a workout. They might like running 1 mile. People are not running marathons for fun. People are just, they like weightlifting, or they like playing pickleball, or they like doing other stuff that's not necessarily running. But it could be a lonely sport, and that's something that could either motivate you, or it could also sometimes like make you a little bit sad, right? But for me, I learned to just use it as something that I could talk about with my friends, like, hey, like, today during my run, this thought came up, and then I just started thinking about this book, or blah blah blah. Inspire more conversations between your friends. But it's okay if you like something that maybe your friends or your family don't like. Okay, now lesson number 5, and this is the last one. This is something that I truly learned from running my first ever marathon, and that is, you truly feel the most accomplished when you accomplish something that is extremely hard, challenging, or something that you have never done. And for me, when I ran this marathon, I felt on top of the world. I really cannot explain it, and that's why I'm running 2025 marathon again this year in San Francisco, because I want to be able to feel that kind of challenge of like, wow, like I just put my body through that and my mind, and I was able to accomplish it. I played so many soccer games, I've with things in life, but I have never felt this sense of accomplishment after finishing something. I think it says a lot about the mental aspect of it, as far as like following through, sticking to your word, what else? Doing things alone that are hard, and doing things that you never thought you'd be capable of. And running a marathon really just taught me that, like, hey, Rocio, this just proves that when you do hard things, either in your career or your personal life or physically, mentally, that's when you really feel accomplished, right? And for me, that also came from reading 53 books last year. It's something I've never done. So anyways, that concludes the 5 lessons that I learned from running my first ever marathon. And honestly, I'm so thankful that my body is able to do something that I never thought I could. And same with my mind. I think it just builds more character. I have something that I'm so proud of to share with the world, to share with my close friends, my coworkers, my family. And when I talk about running my first ever marathon to my friends and coworkers and my family, like, I just feel so proud of myself. And it's not just a medal, it really like shows a lot of dedication and just follow through. And I'm so proud of this medal. It definitely is something that I'm so proud of, and I'm so proud of myself for pushing through and finishing that marathon. But I hope you guys learned something from this video, or maybe inspired you to try your first marathon ever, because I honestly think it's worth it. Some people don't want to pay the $300+, but I honestly think it's one of the best things that you could do. You don't necessarily have to start with a marathon. I wouldn't encourage that, but if you do, let me know. I would love to see how it went for you. But you start from like a 5K, a 10K, half marathon, and then you could go into the marathon. You don't have to be super extreme like I am, but for me, it was something that I felt that I needed. I felt like I needed to push my body to a new dimension, and I felt like I needed to push my soul and my mental capacity during that time in 2024. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to my video. And if you guys are interested in learning more about books, or as you guys can see, I love books or anything like marathon related, I might talk more about that. But thank you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I wish you guys the very best marathon experience if you guys ever do want to try one. And stay active. Try your best to push yourself a little bit, even if it's just walking. But yeah, that is all. Thank you guys.